Hola, hola, hola. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello, hello. Good day, beloveds. What a joy it is to greet you on this fine December morning. My name is Sunshine Daye, and it is my joy to greet you today as we look at the theme for this month of being bliss. Bliss and joy, bliss and joy, bliss and joy. Now, let me tell you a little bit about what I see. My vision is I see a world where clean and sober people are living their best life and loving it. And how I participate in that is that I provide spiritual tools and loving support to recovering alcoholics so that you indeed have the personal transformation that you want. Now, our conversation and meditation is geared toward those in recovery. However, you don't have to be in recovery to benefit from the spiritual tools and the conversation that we're about to have this morning. So if you'd like to go ahead and make a comment and say hello, 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 go ahead and let me know that you're hanging out with me this morning. Today, I wanted to go back into our Begin Within. You know, the thing about Begin Within, a playbook for living your genuine life, is that it is designed in such a way that you are with the same topic for the entire month. Now, I like all of the daily readings. You know, there's many books out that are part of a daily practice and that you read something different every day. Good morning, Peggy. Good morning, Farrell. Good morning, Hope. Now, those books, those kinds of daily living or daily word kind of books are amazing and they're great and they bring such great information and practices to our daily lives. Yet, what I know, aloha, Claire, what I know about this particular way that this is written is that when I read the daily words, by the time I leave the house, I have forgotten. That's the sign language for forgotten. I have forgotten what I read. And so the way that this works is that we are with the same topic, the same page every day for the entire month. This way, what happens is as we learn, as we take it, that's also sign language for learning, as we absorb the printed page and we absorb it into our mental, into our emotional, into our spiritual, when we make it part of our day-to-day living, we begin to see nuances, and we begin to see these slight changes around our daily living, and we begin to see how the words are now jumping off the page and are actually part of our life. And so today our focus is bliss and joy. And the photo that I've chosen for bliss and joy this month is that. Right? Imagine your inner self, imagine your outer self living so fully, so richly, so intensely that the bliss and the joy is just coming from within you. Now, last week we read what the monthly practice was going to be. Today, I really want to focus on a couple of quotes. So let me just read to you again. It says, "Bliss and joy are natural states of being. Within you, there is a wellspring of bliss and joy, just waiting to give you a geyser of joy. This month, your daily practice will help you uncover your personal treasure chest of bliss and joy." Look, you're smiling already. And so that's what this month offers us as a result of keeping bliss and joy at the forefront of our day-to-day activity, and also looking and searching not out there for bliss and joy, because the world's not going to give us bliss and joy. Actually, bliss and joy are our natural states of being. Now, everybody know who Gloria Vanderbilt is, at least back in the day. This is what Gloria Vanderbilt says: "To be happy, one must find one's bliss." To be happy, you must find your bliss. Okay? And then Helen Keller, who we all probably know who Helen Keller was, right? She wrote, "Your success and happiness lies in you. Your success and happiness lies in you. Resolve to keep happy and your joy, and you shall form an invincible host against difficulties." Now, when I think about the story of Helen Keller and how pretty much she was isolated and kept in hiding, almost like we are today, right? With COVID-19 and sobriety and, being isolated from people and friends, our life that we have grown to love and enjoy. And now all of a sudden with C-19, we're being isolated, bunkered in, shelter in place. Like we are, are living something very similar, but not quite as similar to Helen Keller, right? But we're living a similar path in which we're isolated, and we think that our joy is out there. If you think your joy is out there, that's exactly why we're doing what we're doing. And especially for people in recovery, because it's so easy to fall into this mindset, of what the heck, I might as well get loaded. No, what the heck, you might as well find the bliss and joy within you, right? That's really the real deal here. To be happy, one must find one's bliss. And then she says, your success and happiness lies within you. So what I know is that deep down within each and every one of us is this life force. There's this infinite intelligence that is living us right now. And there's nothing that separates your life from the life of this life energy. Like, if you think about it, like, where does your life end? And where does it begin? Like, it is all your life. It is all this infinite intelligence that is living you. This indwelling presence is right where you are. And even though you might think to yourself, oh, it's the car, the new house, or, the jewelry, or the things out there that are bringing you joy, the real joy lies within you. And some of us, especially those of us who are in recovery, and who are free from intoxicants. Now, I've talked about intoxicants being anything that deems you not sober. And what I mean by sober is that you're free from intoxicants. Intoxicants could include alcohol or chemicals or drugs or sex or gambling or shopping or anything like that. Eating, overeating, those things actually, when you're under the influence of food in an obsessive way, or sex in an obsessive way, or love addictions, or any other kind or types of addiction, we're not in our sober state. And when we begin to break free from all of these things that we think bring us joy, it gets a little bit uncomfortable, especially if you're in early recovery, just kind of breaking free from the obsessive and unhealthy ways of living. What's important to recognize and to know for yourself right now is that if we just pause, just like that, if you just pause, go ahead and type in the chat what you feel when you just like take a pause. What do you feel when you just kind of like pause? Stop everything. Pause. I know for me, I feel this sense of calm. And underneath the sense of calm, there's sometimes this sense of maybe uncertainty. Hope says that when she pauses, she feels relief. And Lloyd, thank you, Lloyd, for commenting as well. Lloyd says rest, right? So there's that sense of like, I don't have to be on anymore. I can just rest. I feel relief, freedom, this sense of calm. Now, when I think about those three words, thank you, Nancy. Nancy says calm and peace. When I think about these things that you're just simply feeling just by pausing, like that's major. That's major. And in the relief, there's joy. You know how when you've been carrying something for a long, long time and then you put it down and there's that sense of relief? Like that's joy. When you feel calm and not stressed, underneath that is joy. When you find a sense of freedom, there in that freedom lies the joy. And to the degree in which we just practice pausing, even for just like that few seconds, those few moments of just the pause, where we imagine that you're carrying a remote control, right? That you have this remote control and that you just say to life, pause. And that in that pause, you tap into that indwelling peace, that indwelling joy, that indwelling bliss. You're not stealing from anybody. You're actually giving yourself and gifting yourself the opportunity to find that indwelling bliss, that indwelling joy. Now, especially during these times of COVID, especially as people in recovery have not been able to meet, live and in person in a lot of places to engage in supporting one another on their path of recovery. They're only able to do it online and, through meetings and things like that online. Sometimes we miss that human touch. And yet, what we can do is I invite you right now to also just go ahead and find the joy. Find the joy and hold your left hand out. Your left hand is the receiving hand. With your left hand, with your left hand out, you're ready to receive. And now just simply place your right hand on top of your left hand and then just gently or either firmly just squeeze. And feel the joy that comes from that touch, the receiving and the giving. Feel the bliss that comes from just being able, even interlock your fingers, of receiving that touch, even if it's your own touch. And just caress yourself for a moment and find the bliss of simply being alive. That comes from within you. That is something that the world doesn't give you, and the world cannot take it away. I mean, even in the words of Helen Keller, she recognized that internal happiness, that internal joy, the world could not give it to her. Therefore, the world couldn't take it away. And when we recognize that, and when we realize that, and when we begin to unpack and kind of move away all of the things, our perceptions, our ideas, that I'm not happy because I don't have this, or I don't have that, or I don't have the other thing, like that, those are the lies of the world, if you will, of the external world. That is folks trying to get you to buy their stuff. I am teaching you that right where you are, the power, the presence, the love, the bliss of life lies within you. And that you don't have to go to the mountaintop to seek it out. You don't have to go to the moon to see if you can touch the face of a living presence. But that right where you are, that living presence is. And why is this important, especially for folks in recovery? Like, what do you think? Why is it important to know that life, that indwelling life force is living within you, that deep down within you, that living force, that living source is, that wellspring of source of bliss is? Go ahead and type in the chat. Why do you think that's important to know as someone who's in recovery? I'll tell you why I think it's important. Is that because when all mental powers end and I am faced with either picking up, an intoxicant or a substance to take me out of my right mind, my sober state of being, if I know that there's this indwelling presence within me, that there's this indwelling bliss within me, that there's this indwelling peace and power within me, then I don't need anything on the outside of me to fix me. What I need to do and what I get to do is actually clear away the false ideas, these false beliefs, this idea that I am separate from my source. Thank you, Claire. Claire says, it helps me remember that I am not alone in this, because we are truly never alone. We are all one. We are never truly alone. And this power and presence that is indwelling, it is the solution to all of our daily living problems. And those are the spiritual tools that I am encouraging that you try on for size, so that your personal transformation is actually one from the inside out, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. And by recognizing that you're not alone, that right where you are, this life force, this life energy, this godness is living in, through, and as you, then you don't have to go outside of yourself to tap into that power and presence. That power and presence is right where you are, that bliss is right where you are. I have a dear friend, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, and he calls it Blissapline, because as we engage in our spiritual practice over and over again, it's a discipline, but he calls it Blissapline because as we are disciplined enough to engage in a daily spiritual practice, then what we actually experience is the bliss that comes from knowing the truth of who I am, the truth of you knowing who you are. So I want to invite you right now to gently close your eyes if you're at a place where you can just engage in a short guided meditation with me. Again, just recognize how that pause brings you relief, brings you rest, how it brings you freedom, how it brings you calm and peace, how that pause simply helps you to remember that you're not alone. Mm. And now gently bring your attention to your breathing and bring your awareness there. Recognizing that you're not separate from your breath. That you're breathing in and you're breathing out. You're breathing in and you're breathing out. And within you, as you're breathing in and as you're breathing out, notice the joy and the bliss of simply breathing. Be in touch with the joy of your breath. Huh. I'm so happy I'm breathing right now. Even though life is happening around me, life is happening around you, don't focus on anything else. Just focus on the breath and focus on the joy of breathing. You might even say to yourself, I'm so happy for this inhale. I'm so excited about this exhale. I'm so joyful about this inhale. Oh, what bliss there is in the exhale. Wow, what elation there is in the inhale. And oh, what happiness in this exhale. I rejoice in this inhale. And what exuberance I have with this exhale. And find whatever words express the joy and the bliss and the happiness for the fact of your simple breath that is keeping you alive. Feel the joy welling up within you. Feel the bliss of life. This is exactly what the writers were talking about. Finding our bliss. We don't find it unless we're quiet and still. And we search for it right within our own being. The world didn't give you this, and the world can't take it away. So notice the joy in the relief. Notice the bliss in the rest. Notice the joy in the freedom. Notice the bliss in that sense of calm. Notice the sense of joy in that peace. And notice bliss in knowing that you're not alone. Bliss, joy. It is internal. It is an internal, natural state of being. So now simply see yourself giving the world back the stress, the fear, the doubt, the hatred, the illness. Just give that back. Give back to the world, or you don't even have to give it back. You could just let it go. You don't even have to worry about giving it back. You could just let it go. Give it back or let it go. Let it go. Say, I'm focusing on my bliss and my joy. It's right here where I am. It's always been. Now gently, 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 and ever so slowly, just put a smile on your face. There you go. And don't worry, nobody's looking. And even if they are, you're smiling. And gently open your eyes. And smile. Smile as you take a look at your surroundings, at what you've created around yourself. Knowing that that bliss and that joy come from within. And if you have a moment, go ahead and type into the chat your experience of finding bliss. Let me know if you were able to find a little bit, a lot, because as we continue on with the theme of bliss and joy this month, I want to be able to contribute to you in meaningful ways. And the feedback by your adding things into the chat really helps me to know where you are so that I can continue to give you the tools for personal transformation and the loving support for your own personal transformation. So let's leave with the affirmation for this month. I ask, I listen, and the answers come from within. I find all the joy and happiness inside of me. I live my bliss, and it shows. That's the one I think I'm going to take with me today. I live my bliss, and it shows. And again, in the words of Gloria Vanderbilt, to be happy, one must find one's bliss. And we've been able to find it a little bit at a time today. Now, here's the deal. I'll be back on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we'll continue on this journey of discovering this internal bliss and joy. Because it's right where you are. And sometimes we got to get through the muck and the mire and the brambles and the weeds and the tall grass. Sometimes we got to get through all that stuff in order to find it, but it's there. It is right where you are. I promise you, it is there. And so I look forward to seeing you the next time. Please be sure to like and follow and subscribe so that you get all the latest updates of when I'm on live, and that together we actually create a world where clean and sober people are living their best life and loving it. Know that you are loved and valued. Bye for now.
Celebrate life. You celebrate your life. Celebrate the memories, the birds and the trees, the hugs and the kisses, the hits and the misses. Don't wait till it's too late. Don't wait till it's too late. Love and appreciate. Love and appreciate. Show them that you care. Show them that you care, and you'll always